The permitless carry law is now in effect in Tennessee. The law removes the need for a permit for most people 21 and older for open and concealed carrying of a handgun. But what else do you need to know about this new law? News 4's Tosin Fakile is here in studio and talked to experts about some of the frequently asked questions about this new law. And Tosin, what's the main thing people need to know?
Well, Marius, the main thing they want to remind people is the age requirement. You know, people think it's mostly 21, and people think because it's happened now, if you're 18, you can run around and get a handgun. That's not the case. Experts want to remind people the age requirement. It applies to most people 21 and older and current active military duty service, or people who are honorably discharged veteran between the ages of 18 and 20.
A couple of the big misconceptions that we run into with the permitless carry law is the idea that it's actually a constitutional carry law.
John Sarton at On Target Shooting Range in Murfreesboro says that's not the case.
Constitutional carry would mean that anyone who was legally allowed to be in possession of a firearm could have that firearm anywhere they wanted to have it, anywhere that they were legally allowed to have it. Tennessee's permitless carry law is not going to work that way.
Another thing to note about the new law, it doesn't apply to long guns.
So rifles and shotguns, it's not going to apply to those at all. You will still not be allowed to openly carry a rifle or a shotgun in the state of Tennessee unless you're doing so for a sporting purpose.
Experts also say a possible place where people can run into problems is where they can have a handgun.
Right now in the state of Tennessee, if you have a handgun permit, you are allowed to carry a firearm in a public park, campground, nature trail, or greenway. If you're going to start carrying a gun under this new provision, because you're no longer required to have a handgun permit, even though you could legally get one, you can still find yourself in legal trouble for carrying firearms in certain places where you otherwise would have to have a permit in order to do so.
And the change in law also comes with some changes in penalties.
Minimum penalty for felony possession of a firearm has been increased, as well as the amount of time a person convicted of felony possession of a firearm has to serve before they're eligible for release.
And those are just a few things they want you to know. Police also want you to know that there are some locations where permitless carry is not allowed. That's mostly schools, parks, and buildings that have it posted. Police also tell us when it comes to disarming someone who is engaged in permitless carry, officers have been advised to rely on the principles outlined in a U.S. Supreme Court case, Terry versus Ohio, regarding frisk. Back to you, Maurice.
With all the latest answers to the questions, Tosin Fakile reporting live in studio.